What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So I wanted to revisit this topic because the last time I spoke on it, I don't think I spoke with enough clarity regarding this whole situation. But now with the NBA, well, not the NBA, the Olympics, basketball plays coming up, the Olympics is coming, and I feel like it is a great time to have this conversation once again. Now, I spoke about, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic being the top players in the NBA. Them being like Jokic is the reigning MVP. He got 3 MVP trophies. Luka Doncic was just in the NBA Finals. I spoke about as long as European players are the top players in the NBA, European players like Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, as long as they are the best players in the NBA, the cream of the crop, the NBA's viewership will continue to decline, right? What do I mean by that? Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic are not guys with athleticism. They don't jump out the gym. They don't have, Luka has a flashy game a little bit. Jokic does not at all, right? Luka got a flashy game, but he's not athletic. He's not jumping through the sky, dunking on folks with his size. He's not explosive. He can't, he doesn't have great lateral movement, great quickness. None of that. Neither does Jokic. And I think the average fan is enamored with basketball players who can do something they cannot do, right? I'm not saying they can play like Luka Doncic, but the fans like to see guys who jump through the air, who leap, who got amazing crossover dribbles, who shoot like goddamn Steph Curry. They like seeing guys who can catch alley-oops, guys that could run the floor and 4 dribbles, get up and down the court like Derrick Rose could. They like seeing guys that can dunk with their elbows. They like seeing guys who could posterize people. They like seeing guys who could slash and also also snipe. They like seeing guys who could, slide and move their feet. Guys just super, super quick and go and chase down a guy on the chase down block. Jokic and what's my boy? And Luka Doncic, they don't possess that ability. They don't. They also do not play any defense. They are literal combs defensively. Like, Jokic is just as bad as Luka Doncic. Neither one of them has made one defensive team ever. Ever. No defensive teams. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, them, they made defensive teams. People can say LeBron don't play defense. LeBron was 5-time all defensive first team. He made 6 defensive teams. And this is when he was in Luka Doncic's age range. He was stringing them out for consecutively, getting defensive first teams and all of that. He was doing that. Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic do not do that at all. And so I think it's not a crowd-pleasing style for people, especially casual fans. Like, basketball fanatics like me and like some of y'all, we can watch that and we can say, oh, man, okay, he's a very skilled player. He has a talent. But it's not crowd-pleasing. Kind of like I was talking about Shakur Stevenson. He's great defensively. He's a technician in the ring. He has great punch placement. His punch accuracy is great and outstanding. He has a great understanding of how to cut the ring off and how to box and all of that. But he's not an exciting fighter. He does not bring the fight to guys. He's not a hard-hitting puncher. He's not a guy who can get stoppages like that. He's not a guy who goes after guys often at all. And so it doesn't translate to a style that people really like. Same with Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, man. And so because the NBA has catered the rule change around European players. People always say, oh, they changed the rules for LeBron. No, they did not. LeBron was still getting 20 when it was aggressive dudes, and he was still getting 30 a game when dudes was aggressive, when they was like that. When you had Rasheed Wallace and Kevin Garnett and Ben Wallace and them, LeBron was still jumping through the air, dunking on all of them. He was still getting 27 a game without question. The problem came into play. Hold on 1 second, because my son is out here. The problem comes into play when what really happened, they wanted to make the game more international. Without question. They wanted to make it an international game. David Stern did, and now Adam Silver wants to do the same thing. Because they wanted to make the game more expansive, more, I guess, appealing to people across the country. So they want to add international superstars in. When they tried to do this before, the other guys, they could not manage in the league. They couldn't stick around. And they couldn't stick around because the game was too physical for them, right? They couldn't. It was only a few guys that could really stick around. They could stick around, but they could not be premier star players. The European guys, they couldn't be premier stars, right? My boy, not European. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He a Nigerian that moved to Greece, and he do not play like them. He's athletic. He jumped through the gym. He won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. He can dunk with his goddamn legs. You know, he skies to get blocks. He's get chased down opportunities. All of that. He's a different breed. Hakeem Olajuwon was an all-time great player. Also, he's also not European. He's an African, right? And he was, for as great as Hakeem was, he was never the face of the league. And when he was the MVP of the league and all of that, I'm sure the popularity probably wasn't the same as when Michael Jordan was. Look who the game has been built around. Players like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Allen Iverson. You had Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Dominique Wilkins, Dr. J, Magic Johnson. Guys that had flashiness, pizzazz to them. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about Magic, but majority of them guys was really, really super athletic. So yeah, when you got the rule change, you trying to make the game an international game, people ain't gonna gravitate to it that way. So yeah, like I was saying, I had to pause the video for a minute because my son was pulling me to get him another Nutrigrain bar. He's pulling my arm, pulling my hand, all that. So yeah, when you got guys like that, when you got those type with Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic as the top players, it's not gonna be as interesting because they don't have that. Jokic can't jump over a sheet of paper, and it's not sexy for the fans. Just imagine if Zach Randolph was the face of the league. And again, Zach is an American player, but Zach is not a player who's super athletic and all that. But yeah, it would be a struggle. But a lot of the European guys, they not super athletic. You know what I mean? And again, it does not have to do with their race. Because if Jokic and Luka Doncic was athletic like a Rex Chapman, Tom Chambers, shit, it'd be crazy. The league would be like, okay, let's do it. We with all that. They would be all for it. But they don't. And so the fans struggle casual fans struggle to watch that type of game where it's just all fundamentals all the time. And it's really not a whole lot of athleticism. Yo mama, yo sister them, yo dad, yo uncle them. A lot of them want to see some dudes getting dunked on, posterized. They want to see some Vince Carter type dunks. They want to see some Michael Jordan, LeBron flying through the air, some Steph Curry sniping. They want to see some, Ray Allen type daggers. They want to see a dude like Allen Iverson with a crazy crossover make dudes fall and then go to the rack and finish over the big man. They like that. And a lot of the European players don't possess that type of style or that type of game, man. So it gets rough for them. It gets very, very rough for them. And it don't get rough for them. They play well, they score a lot of points, and they sit at the top of the NBA as the best players. They get MVP trophies, but the viewership, especially in the NBA finals and the playoffs, it suffers. It suffers because they're looking for another guy who can do the stuff that LeBron can do, or Mike could do, or Kobe Bryant, or Vince Carter, or Dominique Wilkins, Dr. J. They looking for people that can fly like that and sky like that, and a lot of the European players can't do it. But they are at the top of the league now for sure, because they play professional since they kid. They've been playing professional since they kids, so they know how to play the game fundamentally well. They know how to do all the right things, and then they get to the league where it's not as physical. They thrive because they've been professional for a long time, and it's not as physical, so they get off. But them getting off does not translate to great viewership. And I promise y'all, if a European stays at the top of the league as the best player, NBA viewership going to be like MLB viewership. It's going to decrease, and the fans going to get disinterested. I promise y'all it's going to get like Major League Baseball. Stay tuned. If you don't believe me, I'm looking at my time. I only got 10 seconds left on this video. But yeah, I promise y'all, stay tuned. Jokic stay the best player for a while. It's going to be like MLB viewership.